Welcome to this video about chart patterns. It's one of the most exciting topics for me, certainly in the context of dashboards and how you can get charts working together. So a chart pattern is a combination of charts that just work well together for a given situation or a given scenario. Now in this case, you see from a high level, we've got a set of KPIs, we've got a set of filters, and of course we have our charts. And this is the chart pattern I want to talk to you in this video about. It is the bubble chart, the bar chart, vertical bar, time series, line chart, and then a table. So why would you use this chart pattern? From a very high level, it's when you have a lot of things, a lot of items that you want to track and maybe spot outliers in. In this example, to make sense of this, I'm showing you a HR human resources example. So imagine we're talking about people, we're talking about employees in a company. Specifically, we're talking about their risk of attrition, how likely they are to leave the organization. So that's what this tab in this dashboard is all about. So you can see up here, it is the attrition tab. We're refreshing our data daily, and some of the important, interesting things we have going on here. In our KPIs, we have the number of employees at risk, the percentage of them that are at risk. So we might say, you know what, the 178, it's gone up 5 in the last week, so we might think that's bad. But in terms of context, the percentage of them at risk has actually gone down. So just for example, for you to discuss with your stakeholders and discuss with the business, right? So this can help improve their data literacy. The predicted cost is 4.2 million. So this is what we're predicting. So there's an imaginary model behind this, right? Where we're predicting if we don't take action right now with these employees that are at risk, we think we're going to lose 4.2 million, or at least that's going to be the cost of attrition. And then our actual cost year to date is 1.3 million. So let's get into this here. Our first chart is to help us spot which employees are most at risk. So if we look at the axes here, for the at-risk employees chart, bubble chart, as you probably know, one of my favorite charts, a little bit of a learning curve, but it can do a lot for us. On the x-axis, we have salary. So imagine a dot is an employee. So one of the dots is an employee. The further to the right, the dot, the higher their salary is, right? So if a dot is all the way over here, that is a high salary individual. That's at risk of leaving the organization. The y-axis is a risk score that we've generated for each employee. The further up an employee or a dot is on this chart, the more at risk they are of leaving. So for example, if we look at this employee here, they are a high salaried employee at high risk of leaving. We can also attribute size to give additional meaning, and color, which is the beauty of this chart. We can do a lot. We can embed a lot of information in this. So we could give their maybe level of seniority a size, maybe. Color could mean potentially department. It could also relate to risk, right? Or we could just draw the attention to, you know what, just work on the orange ones. These are the ones you need to care about. If you've got 10 minutes in your day to explore your dashboard, focus on these orange ones here. They're going to have the biggest yield and the biggest benefit for the action that you take against them. So for example, we want to look at these three. So we could drag a selection around those three, and that moves us on to the next chart. And this is the beauty of this pattern here. Attrition reasons. So what are the main reasons for attrition, right? And we can see here on the x-axis, they're the reasons, and the y is the count of people that are at risk for that reason. So without doing any selection over here, we just get a holistic view of what are the main reasons for people leaving an organization. But if we make a selection here, it's going to show us the reasons specific to those people that are in orange. And we might find that for those people that are high risk and high salary, maybe it's all that reason, maybe this just gets highlighted from our selection. So we might notice that. And maybe the folks that are leaving for this reason are people maybe over on this side, right? That are lower salary, maybe lower impact to the organization departing. Maybe they're less senior, right? So this can help us query and better understand where we want to spend our time and understand what's going on with attrition. Now, of course, we have to understand, is this an upward trend or a downward trend? So that's why we have this, in this chart pattern, this combination of charts, we have the line trend. The line chart showing us over months. So each step on our line is a month. And the y-axis is the count, the count of attrition there. And finally, more often than not, a HR manager or HR professional wants to get down into the actual detail. Okay, but which employee is this? Give me some of their details, their department, right? So span of control, give me some background, right? I need to know who I need to take action with, who's their supervisor. Give me some of these details, right? So I have to understand those things. So you can see how all of these charts can nicely work together. But that's not the only way that this works together. We also have our filters. So we could just look by department. I could filter by finance. All of this would update. And I could see then, I can narrow in on my pattern of charts here to get more into detail. I can also see the level. I could filter. I could just focus on managers. I could just focus on directors. And my final filter, it's not exhaustive list of filters here, of course, for a HR dashboard, but span of control. How many people are being managed, right? So if I select only show me people that manage between 20 and 49 members of staff, right? It's going to update everything there as well. So this is a very, very compelling chart pattern to use when you have a lot of things, right? A lot of items, right? So, and always remember, whenever we're doing any type of chart patterns or chart selection, we also want to make sure that we're picking the actual question and the question that we're answering, as well as the actions that it's driving, right? So we have to be conscious of that detail as well. So that gives you an overview of the chart patterns. This is one of my favorite go-tos when you're designing a lot of things, a lot of products, a lot of people, maybe students. This is one of your go-to chart patterns that you can explore and see if it works for your situation.